Welcome to another episode of Lilysizzling. Tonight we're making something called chicken flattus, or however you want to pronounce it. Basically, they're going to be little, they're fried, little tiny, like mini chimichangas, but they're like rolled up and they're like about this long, about this. You get the point. Rox is like geeking out. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about over there. So we're gonna make some.
No clue what you're talking about.
So we're gonna make some little shredded chicken flattus. So we're gonna start with one of these like big roaster baking chickens. So you're gonna want to defrost them if you have them in your freezer, and put them on a plate so he doesn't get blood everywhere, because that's always lovely when that happens. So we're gonna cut this guy open here and start getting him ready. You're gonna want to wash your roasted chicken. As weird as it sounds, you always wash your chicken before you cook it in more water. So we're going to wash our chicken and get all the nasty little doodads out of this guy. He comes pre-equipped with things like a neck and a heart and a liver and kidneys. Here's the heart. Beep, 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 beep. Okay. I'll start roasting you guys out now with chicken anatomy.
Blech.
So basically, you're just going to want to clean him up really good and run some water in his cavity. Just want to clean him. There we go. Always want to clean out the bird. Bird abuse. Okay, make sure there's nothing left in this hole. Turn off the water here. Let's see. Fishing around in there. There's a ring. There's a $100 bill. No, I'm playing. Why would that be in there? Okay. So get him over in this pan, and that will be his final resting place. If there's a feather left on him, just pull it out. It's kind of gross. Feathers. I am so gonna gross Rox out. He's not gonna eat this at all. Okay, so we have our chicken here waiting to be seasoned. So now we're gonna start seasoning them up. We're gonna put like a bunch of different stuff on, some cilantro, some chicken broth, some tomatoes, some onions, and some wine over them, and some chili powder and some pepper flakes and all that good stuff. So we're gonna start getting this guy seasoned up and ready to go. Okay, so let's get some diced onions over them. So we're going to take our onion guy like usual. I use a lot of onions, if you've noticed, in all of the recipes. Onions are always awesome to use. They're a really good source of different nutrients. So, and they also add a lot of flavor. And you'll notice that if you use things like the onions and the garlic and stuff, you won't have to use a lot of salt because the meal is already flavored and packs a punch for you. So get the skin off of our onion guy here. Oh, these knives are so much better. I'm using the new knives tonight. We have that big old chicken clucking in there. He says, Sizzle-tastic is my Sizzle-tastic rooster. We're cooking our mascot of the show. PETA's gonna come get me for animal abuse.
No animals were injured during the
filming of Lilysizzling. Yeah, right.
All stunts performed by Lily herself.
Yeah, that's not really a chicken, that's just me performing a stunt. I can look dead like that. Cook me. And my eyes are burning from the onion. Alrighty, and some cilantro, folks. What would a Mexican dish be without cilantro?
What would any dish be without cilantro?
You would put cilantro on ice cream if you could.
Cereal sounds good. Cilantro and Frosted Flakes.
Alrighty, so let's just add the rest of our cilantro in there. And now we're going to take some cans here. Add a little bit of chicken broth over the top of it. Might say it's chicken where you add chicken broth. That's just for some flavor instead of having to cover it all up with water. We're going to add a little bit of chicken broth in with our water and our mixture here. It just adds a little bit more flavor to this guy. go. Let's add in a can of tomatoes. Because this is a Mexican dish and we're going to be making shredded chicken. And when you do shred your chicken, you want to be very mindful of the bones. So that's going to be one of the tricks to this. There we go. A nice can of tomatoes. And now the seasonings. We'll add in some chili powder. You know, get them pretty good with some chili powder in there. Put it all on the tomatoes, and we're going to take and mush the tomatoes around and stir them. There we go. Nice good helping of chili powder. Let's get some garlic. Get a nice good helping of garlic once again on this guy. Garlic's another one of your key ingredients. And lastly, some pepper. We're going to just add some of this regular pepper, and as we cook along, we'll add a little bit of red pepper into it. We're going to add a little bit of wine. And what the wine's going to help do here while we're shredding our chicken is it's going to help tenderize the meat. And this makes for a very nice, juicier chicken. So we're going to add just a little bit of wine. Now we're going to cover the rest of this guy up with a little bit of water. And then we're going to boil him and let him set in here for a good hour. So let's add just a little bit of water into here. And adding the water kind of helps mix up a little bit of the seasonings as well. Alrighty, so let's get out a spoon. Kind of mix this around, and remember when you're working with chicken, everything that touches the chicken, including the spoon, you need to clean up and make sure that it doesn't come into contact with any of the other foods that you're going to be eating that are potentially raw or other utensils or anything like that. So you're not going to want to taste this or eat this until this chicken's done. So it's kind of like a guessing game and stuff. And when the chicken's done, then you can add more seasonings or add seasonings as you go. But you don't want to taste it like this, or if it's halfway done. It's a little bit different than with a red meat, because the salmonella and the potential ickies that chicken carries. So because chicken carries ickies, we want to be extra careful with that. So we're going to put our seasonings over here so they don't burn on top of our stove. We're going to let this come up to a good boil, and then we're going to put a cover over it and kind of let it steam and saute in its own juices for about a good hour or so while it is cooking. And that's what we're going to do to get our shredded chicken tacos. Don't sneeze, Rox!
No.
He sneezed. You got too close to the dang pepper, didn't you?
I did.
You did. You're like...
It is hard holding the camera while sneezing.
I bet it was.
How professional.
How unprofessional of you. Okay, so we're going to let this chicken sit in here for about a good hour and let it come up to boil, like I said. And we're going to put the lid over it once it does come up to boil. Wash your hands and the surfaces and everything that's came in contact with this. And we'll taste it when it's done and see what else we need to add in here. But I think that she's pretty much going to be good to go and very seasoned and flavorful, just like this when we shred her and put her into our little flattus. And make our little burrito things and bake them in the oven and fry them up. How we're going to do this here. Okay, folks, we're going to take our meat thermometer here, and this is what our chicken looks like here. You can see the nice coloration. Look at the broth in there. Look at that. That's turned really pretty. And she's nice, like she has like a purple darkish color. That's not because of us cooking her. That's because of the wine. So as you can see, some of the liquid cooks off. So you want to keep refilling it with liquid. If it cooks off too much, so that way your bird doesn't dry out. But let's go ahead and check our thermometer here, temperature. We're going to want to see about 160, 180. She's about 160 right now, so we can give her a little bit more time in here, and that's what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give her a little bit more time. That way we make sure that she's really nice and done. I'm going to say maybe about another good 30 minutes and stuff, and maybe we could add some more seasonings to her if we want to while I guess we're checking on her. Add some more pepper on her, just season her up. That's what I like to do. My whole house just smells really awesome like this, by the way. With this bird, you can smell it all over the place. A little bit more of that chili powder. There we go. Alrighty, folks, our chicken is done. She is done. Look at that. Look, it's just coming right off the bone. I mean, everything just coming right off the bone. And this will be a really nice broth too if you want to take and you want to strain the bones out of here and keep just the broth. And a little bit of these vegetables in here if you want to. And this would be a really nice broth for some like chicken noodle soup if you want to use that for some chicken noodle soup base too. And it'll be kind of like a spicy, more Mexican version of chicken noodle soup, but it would be a really, really nice broth for that. So we're going to get this chicken on out into this bowl here, and I'm going to start shredding it up into a couple piles of meat. And then once we get that shredded up, we're going to start getting our tortillas softened. We're going to put tortillas in a little bit of oil, flip them over. You know the whole deal. So we're going to soften the tortillas to get them ready to cook. So let's get this chicken out and let's get everything ready. So we're going to use 2 forks and basically our fingers too, but not until this cools a little bit more. We won't get bone into our little flatta chimichanga things that we're making. So we're going to basically shred this meat on up. So you can get a good chunk here of the breast and get it in here if you don't want the skin, and you just pull it apart and shred it, and it comes apart really easy, just like that, in little shreds. So you're going to shred up the chicken. Kind of will look like cat food if you ever use like shredded cat food cans. Just bought a bunch of that stuff tonight. If you don't want any fat or skin, you can just put that on the side there. You know, just kind of remove the skin too. Just peel off the skin. See? You don't want any skin in there. And just get a nice good chunk of meat and just start shredding it. Just pull it apart with the fork. I mean, it just falls apart. We're going to take this stuff and we're going to basically wrap it up and put it into our little flattus that we're going to be making here. Look at that. Look at that. That's really beautiful. It just falls right apart, just how it should. Really nice shredded chicken. So now we've done shredded beef and shredded chicken. And we can do a pork one too. Each way is different. We've done some different methods of doing them. I've showed you crock pot with if you remember one of the episodes when I did shredded shredded beef tacos there. We did that as a crock pot recipe, and this one just shows you right on your stove how to do it. So they're both pretty sufficient in time, and it doesn't take too long. If you want to crock pot it while you're gone at work, you could. I'll just keep eating the meat. Oops. Just make a little bowl of meat, see? So I'm doing right here is a little bowl of meat. That looks awesome, doesn't it, Rox?
Looks tasty to me.
It's going to have all that nice flavor in there that we've cooked with. We've cooked with that wine, we've cooked with that cilantro, we've cooked with the onions, the chili powder, and all that stuff. So we're going to get a lot of that nice flavor in here. What we're going to do with this meat, though, is we're going to mix it in with a salsa mixture that we're going to make. And that salsa mixture that we're going to blend up here in a few minutes is going to be really flavorful as well. And it's going to add to the flavor of the little flattas. Alright, so we get the chance to try our new blender out. So we're going to take a little bit of cilantro and we're going to basically put this cilantro up into our blender. Throw away the sticks. Let's get some cilantro up in here. Keep a little bit right here for some garnish. Back here, because Rox will be picky about his garnish. He likes lots of fresh cilantro. There. What was it that we got to feed one time? Oh yeah, that's right, the guinea pig. You're like a guinea pig, Rox. You like cilantro. Those things love cilantro. My son got the class guinea pig for a week and we fed it cilantro. Reminds me a lot of someone who I know.
No idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, mister. Let's cut our tomato. Here, there we go. My hand's not big enough to get them all in one fail soup. And you don't gotta cut them up into precise pieces because we are blending him. But you're just gonna want them, to be sizable so we don't kill our new blender off. Good God knows that they didn't make them like they used to in the old days with our 1960 blender that God, that thing was bad. Lilysizzling 1960 blender. Get ready to blend. No escapees. I don't think so, tomatoes. Don't chop me into pieces. It would hurt so bad. I don't care, tomato. You're gonna get chopped into pieces. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm talking to my tomatoes and onions again. All right, folks. So we're gonna add in some fire roasted green chilies into here. There we have it. And let's take some chili, guys, and put them on up there. There we go. Give them a little cut. Help them out a little bit. Help the blender out. I don't know how good this blender is, so I'm almost pureeing it all myself. All I gotta do is take a spoon and stir, right?
You're used to the old blender.
I am used to the old blender. My hands are still damp, so I'm gonna use my dress. And just a little tad of olive oil. That was like a good tablespoon or two. And just a little tad of vinegar. Get in there. And another good tablespoon or two. Just eyeball it. Alright, let's get the garlic on it. Pass me the garlic, cameraman. He's probably gonna hiss and die. And okay, so I'm gonna peel up some garlic and shove about 2 cloves in here. Alrighty, folks, so this is what it's gonna look like here. Look at that really nice container of salsa mix. Yeah. Get some jalapenos on up in there too if you want.
Smells delish.
It does smell good. Alright, so we're gonna try this here.
Cover your ears and pray to the heavens.
Pray. Okay. Low. We don't want to liquefy it. We'll just grate it.
Wrong.
That didn't work.
There
That's
it goes. There's movement. There it goes.
It's working. It's working.
There it goes. It's working.
It's blending. Look. Oh my God. We have technology. We can make salsa. It's blending. It actually did it. I can't believe it. We have blender technology, and look, we've made a nice little green salsa that we're gonna put onto our little flattus here. We're gonna make some of our meat on it with some cheese. We did it. We made salsa. Unbelievable, folks. We made salsa.
We have salsa smoothies. Yay.
Well, salsa's not supposed to look like big old chunks of tomatoes and onions unless you want it like that little pico style. That's the only type of salsa I could make before. I couldn't really make it like this. Alright, well, it would take like 20 minutes of pushing everything down and pushing it down and redoing it. It was a nightmare, but we have this now. Alright, so let's get to moving with our shredded chicken and get this stuff on the road. So we have 1 bowl of shredded chicken. I'm going to put 1 bowl of shredded chicken into a container. We're add a little bit of salsa to it. Half of our flattus will be spicy. So we're going to take this salsa here, and what I've designated as the salsa spoon, which is Rox's coffee spoon. He's like, hey, that's my coffee spoon. It's like, no, that's a really cute little salsa spoon. So we're going to use
It's my coffee spoon.
We're going to use this as a salsa
It's
spoon.
full of coffee.
We're going to mix some of this salsa in here with this chicken. Alrighty. There we go. There we have it. Now this looks really nice. What we're going to do is shred some cheese on this stuff and start getting it ready to put into our
Now you're
flattus.
talking my language.
Exactly. So we're going to get these tortillas nice and pliable after we shred some cheese. So we're going to get 2 different types of shredded cheese. We're going to have queso and Monterey Jack. So we have 2 types of cheeses tonight. They're both white, so it's going to make a nice little blend here. So we're going to put our white cheeses on top of this and on top of that. And then we're going to start our tortillas.
Sizzle-tastic.
Yep. Not a lot of oil, maybe a couple tablespoons. Sizzle them just until they're pliable, see folks, just like that. That's all you really want is that nice pliability to them. Lay them out flat, let them drain for a few seconds. Now the oil is key here. You can microwave these things, you do whatever you want, but they're just going to break apart if you don't oil them up. So they've got to be oiled up. Just for a few seconds on each side. Count to about 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is also going to make them nice and crispy. Okay folks, as you can see, I've got our flattus filling station here. So you're going to let these tortillas cool off for a little bit here. We've got our chicken. You have to work a little bit fast because you don't want your chicken to get cold, like, and go bad. So, well, you got about 2 hours for cooked meat. So, about a good 30 minutes that this has been. Shouldn't be too bad on it. You can always refrigerate it too if you get skeptical all the time. You're gonna fill them up with a little bit of meat just like that. Take a little bit of cheese. Put some cheese in each one. Oh, get some cheese on that guy. And I want to take some lime juice. Spritz them with lime juice. We've got a whole lime here, and this should do about the trick for all these. Squeeze that lime juice on. Got about ready to need a new piece of lime over here. So we're going to fold these little doodads up into little burritos. And so if you watch how I do it here, you take and pinch these two sides, and then you roll it real tight. And you put the seam side down so it kind of holds itself on there with its own weight so it doesn't pop. So you're just going to roll it up. Sometimes I fill them really good too. There we have them. That's a nice big long fat skinny one. That's why I lay the meat down one way, so we do this so we can get that meat. There we go, that's a really nice looking flattus. Okay boys and girls, this is a tray of our flattus. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 24, 36. I don't know, maybe 24. 6, 12, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 23 flattus. That's what all this cheese is for. You're going to want to use about an 8-ounce thing of Monterey Jack. If you want to use jalapeno or the pepper jack too, now that's good to go with too. Since I use that so much, I was just going to try to use a basic cheese for tonight. And just to capture that basic flavor, and hopefully the meat has captured the flavor for us of the spice and all the nice herbs and everything that we used in there to cook with. Alright, so we're going to top these little flattas with some olives. I always like to cook with olives when I make these little things. They end up looking like little mini enchiladas, but without the enchilada sauce on them. So a couple of baked olives on the top of them. And I find that it just looks cute to me. I don't know, I like it. Okay, and see the rest of this lime here? Just spritz them with some lime juice. Just bake that lime juice right on into the top of these. If you have any cuts on your fingers at all, that lime juice knows where to go. And it says ouchie wouchie. Okay, so we have this, and we're going to stick these guys into the oven here. Okay, so our little flattas here, mini chimneys, are done, and you can see the nice golden brown coloration to the sides of them over there. Look at that. Oh yeah. They're all nice and done. So we're going to take them out here. And we're going to put them up onto the oven, and that's what we're going to do with them. So we're going to put our little flattas right here in a little pile of shredded lettuce. And we'll save some room for the beans. Alright, because these doodads are hot, use your clippers. Grippers, clippers, whatever you want to call them. Get a couple of flattas up there. I would say about 3 or 4 per person is going to be nice and sufficient enough. So just like that. There we have it. Let's get some beans on that. Fox is like, no, give me more, give me more.
Oh, good.
Yep. Get some fart beans on up for Rox. He's been drinking some wine, now we can have some fart beans. Alright, let's come over here to the station. Let's get a little bit of cheese crumbled up over the top of these beans. I've already put some cheese in them. I'll just make them a little bit cheesier for him. Cut couple olives on top of the beans. A little bit of cilantro right on top of those guys. Get a little bit of this queso cheese too. That way we have a couple different types of cheeses. Alright, so we'll take just a little bit of this little neat salsa that we made here and just ever so slightly put a little bit of salsa right on the tops of these. If you have some sour cream, you can do it too. Because they're so little, you don't want to overwhelm them. Because the insides are already packed with all that flavor. So we're going to do this. So I'm going to put a little bit of lime right on the side of this plate here. And this is kind of like really nice and pretty. So let's set this guy down over here. And let's get a little slice of lime. So we have made homemade flattus with some refried beans. The flattus are a little bit labor intensive. If you think about all the different types of Mexican food, I'd kind of pair it with like making lasagna or something like that, because it takes a lot of time stuffing them, filling them, wrapping them up, and getting them ready to go. So it's kind of like a lasagna if you think about it. In terms of like doing like an Italian food or something like that, or pot stickers or egg rolls if you're thinking about doing like a Chinese more orientated episode or recipe basically. So we took our chicken and we boiled our chicken. We got that stuff all shredded up there. We used an array of different spices and flavors in there. We had wine to cilantro to onions and all that good stuff and chili powder. And then we basically took and we put these little tortillas into the oil there, and we fried them up for a few seconds to make them pliable so we're able to roll them up. And then after we did that, we stuffed them up. We threw some cheese on them, and then we baked them in the oven and put some olives on top and made some salsa with it that we put onto the chicken. And here we have it. It's a long episode. It's a lot of work just to get this little result, but they are really good. Alright, so I hope you watch us. Channel 18, Sacramento, Thursdays, 6 p.m. YouTube.com/TheRocksHeart, lilysizzling.com. Thank you, and it's been a sizzle-tastic, awesome episode. Bon appetit.